Yay, we made it to lesson 100. Let's go ahead and check our work. We started with number 5. Okay, number 5 says that they traveled 300 kilometers in 4 hours, and they're going to stick at that same rate. So how long will it take them to travel 500 kilometers? So I just created a proportion. 300 kilometers is to 4 hours, as 500 kilometers is to some number of hours. I did my cross multiplying. I got 6 and 2/3 hours. It says to give our answer in hours and minutes. So 2/3 of an hour is 40 minutes, 6 hours and 40 minutes. Number 6, the ratio of children to adults is 1 to 15. That gave us a total of 16. Oops, this should say ratio on the ratio category. It says that 800 people visited at the museum. So how many children were there? So I'm going to get rid of the adult category. 1 is to 16, as the number of children is to 800. Cross multiply, the number of children is 50. Number 7 is an original change new. So it says that the population decreased 30% over one winter. So the new percent is 70. If the population next spring, that's after the winter, after the change, is 350, what was the original? So I get rid of this category. 100 is to 70, as the original is to 350. The original number was 500. Number 8 was an interesting problem. It said that 3/4 of Geneva's favorite number is 36. So I changed that into an equation. 3/4 of the favorite number is 36. So I multiplied both sides by the reciprocal of 3/4, and I got that the favorite number is 48. But the last part says what number is half of the favorite number. So half of it would be 24. So we had to go that extra step. Number 11 is a distribution problem. We're going to, whatever is right next to the parentheses on the outside gets multiplied by everything inside. X times x is x squared. X times positive 3 is positive 3x. X squared plus 3x. Number 12 says that the ordered pairs 0, 0, -2, -4, and 2, 4 make a straight line, okay? And this line is the graph of y equals 2x. So they ask us to graph the line, and then they want us to find a point in the third quadrant that also satisfies the equation. That means it's also going to be a point that's on the line, just like 0, 0, 2, 4, and -2, -4 are on the line. So this is quadrant 1, 2, 3. So I am looking for where my line crosses grid squares. Okay, and I see that it crosses here. You could have chosen -1, -2. And I see that it also crosses here at -3, -6. I didn't draw my line any longer. Those were already 2 options in quadrant 3 that satisfy the equation. Number 18. Number 18 says that the square roots of these numbers are between what 2 consecutive whole numbers? So they give us the square root of 40. Now we know 40 is not a perfect square, so it's not going to have a perfect root. So I think about the perfect square just below 40 and the perfect square just above 40, and what those roots are. So the perfect square closest to 40 but below it is 36, and the root is 6. Above, the perfect square is 49, and that root is 7. So the square root of 40 is somewhere between 6 and 7. Square root of 20. The perfect square just below 20 is 16. Perfect square just above 20 is 25. The root of 16 is 4. Root of 25 is 5. So the square root of 20 is somewhere between 4 and 5. Number 19. Number 19. Find the circumference in the area of a circle with a radius of 7 inches. And they tell us to use 22/7 for pi. Okay, so if the radius is 7, then to find the circumference, I double it for the diameter. 22/7 times 4/1. The 7 and the 14 reduce. That's a 1, that's a 2. 22 times 2, 44 inches. Pi r squared for the radius. Radius is 7. 7 squared is 49. This and this reduce. This is 1, this is 7. 22 times 7, 144 inches square for the area. Number 20 is one of our Pythagorean theorem formulas again. Okay, hopefully you did not let them trick you this time. They went ahead and gave us the hypotenuse. Okay, so they gave us the hypotenuse and one of the legs, and we had to figure out the other leg. Okay, so 17 is my hypotenuse. That's at the end of our Pythagorean theorem. Okay, it's going to be the biggest number. A squared plus 15 squared is equal to 17 squared. 15 squared is 225. 17 squared is 289. Subtract 225 from both sides. I get a squared is equal to 64, but I want a, not a squared. So how do I undo something that is squared? Well, I square root it. And if I do it to one side, I got to do it to the other side. A is equal to 8 centimeters. Okay, so this leg here has to be 8 centimeters. Okay, now numbers 21 and 22 are problems that are a little more difficult. We're finding volume. Our formula for volume, area of the base times the height. Now on this triangular prism on 21, hopefully you realized the base of that figure is a triangle. Area of a triangle, 1/2 base times height. So you should have had the area of, or the base of this figure was that triangle that you're seeing on the front. Okay, it was a 4×3. Divide by 2, so the capital B part gives us 6 centimeters square. And hopefully you saw that that triangular prism went 6 units back. Multiply by 6 centimeters for the height. Total volume, 36 centimeters cubed. 22, we have another volume problem, but this one's a cylinder. So area of the base, we got to use the area of a circle formula. So it said that the diameter is 4. That means the radius is 2. 2 squared is 4 centimeters square times pi gives me 12.56 centimeters square. And then I got to multiply that times the height of the figure. The cylinder was 10 high, it said. So multiply 12.56 centimeters squared times 10 centimeters gives me 125.6 centimeters cubed for the volume. 23, we've got some angles. So they told us that this one measured 48. They told us this one was a right angle. So we've got A, B, and C to find. Okay, so this straight line, angle measuring 48 and the angle A have to add up to 180. So that gave me 132 for angle A. Hopefully you see the same thing for angle A and angle B. They're also supplementary. So angle A is 132. That makes angle B have to be 48 degrees. Okay. So angle B combined with C and this right angle have to equal a straight line. This whole thing is a straight line. So 90 and 42 combine to give me 132. Take that away from 180 and angle C, 90 and 48 add up to 138. Take that away from 180. We get 42 degrees. Number 24. 24, negative 4.5 squared plus 8 to the 0 equals 4 to the 3rd. Okay, hopefully you remembered anything to the 0 is 1. I made this a fraction instead of a mixed number. So I have negative 9/2 x plus 1 is equal to 64. I subtracted 1 on both sides. And then I get negative 9/2 x is equal to 63. What's happening to x? It's being multiplied by negative 9/2. How do I undo that? Divide by negative 9/2, which means multiply both sides by their reciprocal. So I multiplied both sides by negative 2/9. That gave me x is equal to negative 14. This 9 and this 63 reduce. That's a 7, that's a 1. 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. Number 15. So we have a proportion. 15 over w is equal to 45 over 3.3. Now you might have solved it by cross multiplying, but I saw to get from 45 to 15, I could just divide by 3. So if I do 3.3 and divide by 3, I'll get w. W is equal to 1.1. Last one. So they want us to put 1.5, negative 0.5, and radical 5 on a number line. So I made my number line. Okay, I just went 3 to the right and several to the left of 0. So 1.5 I know is halfway between 1 and 2. So here's 1.5. Negative 0.5 is halfway between 0 and negative 1. So negative 0.5 is here. Square root of 5. Well, This is not a perfect square. The closest one below it is 4. The square root of that is 2. The closest one above it is 9. The square root of that is 3. So it's got to be between 2 and 3. But 5 is definitely closer to 4, so it's going to be closer to 2 than it is to 3. So here I put radical 5. Okay? Okay, guys. I hope you all have a great day, and congratulations for reaching lesson 100, and I will see you next time.